how's it going? So we're here in the Blue Mountain Range of Northeast Oregon, and I want to talk to you about blackberries. I know that you know what blackberries are, that they're delicious, they're good, you can make wine, jams, jellies, eat them as is, there's so many ways that you can use blackberries that taste delicious. But did you know that they're also medicinal? So what's pretty amazing that people don't realize is that we have invasive blackberries all over our property, so at least we get food and medicine from them. Her leaves are packed with tannins, antioxidants, a lot of really good immune stimulating and free radical fighting properties. But really what she's great for is those tannins. Now tannins are something that like dries you up. So like if you've ever like put some alum in your mouth or like a lemon and it like, now the lemon, some of it's from ascorbic acid, but it's also from tannins. It's to dry, to tighten. And now you're like, how am I going to use that? If you are a person that has like IBS or Crohn's, or you ate something sketchy and now you really just need this burrito or something to stop coming out of you, we've all been there. It's a human thing. Blackberry leaf is gonna be your friend. But also, if you bleed heavy during your moon time, or you cramp really badly, or you perspire like just too much, blackberry and her tannins are amazing. So you have a few options here. You can harvest the leaves of a blackberry, and then you can dry them and use them to make a tea. They don't taste horrible. They're not like, I mean, it's similar to raspberry leaf tea. It kind of has a fruity flavor, but not overly. But you can also take these leaves and make a tincture. Now, a tincture is ideal for like if you're traveling and suddenly you have, your gut kicks up and it's emptying out on you. It's a lot easier to grab a tincture out of your bag or whatever than it is to be like, hold on, body, let me brew a cup of tea. But sometimes if it's really out of control and you are at home, a combination of a tincture and the tea made out of the leaf is helpful. Now, be careful not to poke yourself. Check this out. I'm going to have him get close. These are the Himalayan invasive blackberries. They're all over the world at this point. See those mean old spikes underneath of her? You can even hear them when I go across them. So when you make a tea, unlike raspberry, and most raspberry leaf you buy to make tea is commercial and it's thornless, but when you're going to make a tea, I want you to strain it really well, because sometimes those little thorns can break off, and you don't want that inside of you because it's going to cause irritation. But if you're going to make a tincture, what I usually do is go after the two freshest sides. You can also take the tip, and I know that will damage the plant's ability to grow, but again, these are invasive, so anything that you can do to stop the spread is not a bad idea. And you can see how she spreads up here. Look at all of those old canes, and this is a small plant. We have some that are like, we've probably got about 2 acres worth of solid Himalayan blackberries. But you can see all that old cane, it just grows and grows and grows and dies off and puts more out. You taking the tips off of her isn't going to really put a dent in it. And you can just make yourself a tincture, but you could also do an infused vinegar. Now that one's good because vinegar is also kind of got some tannins in her. She's drying, and so that would be a double shot, and it would be good for digestion too if you can handle vinegar. But yeah, a lot of people just don't think about blackberries beyond the delicious fruit. Now in the fall, if you want to make like a seriously like tannin packed tincture, because there's a lot of tannins in this as is, but in the fall if you come and dig up some of her roots, you can make a tincture out of her root that's like, it's going to be like leaf times 10. It will dry you out, and actually it'll dry you out to the point that if you're going to use the root, I really recommend that you're making sure that you drink a little bit extra water. Don't go crazy. Don't drink so much water that you're like peeing 24/7 and damage your kidneys. Too much water can hurt your kidneys, folks. But just a little bit of water with her when you're making it with a root, because she is just so drying. But again, it's fantastic for anybody who's like IBS, Crohn's, ulcers, anybody who's just got like anything that's making things come out of you too much. And that includes sweating, heavy menstrual bleeding, all that kind of stuff. And it's blackberries. She's really easy to ID. You can gather her in the spring all the way till the fall. Of course, like early spring and like before she goes into fruit, she'll have more tannins in her leaf. But it's also okay just to gather as she's putting fruit on. And then you can, even in the fall, you can gather berries. some blackberries in different areas of the country are ready early. Ours aren't ready until fall where we're at. We're high elevation in the mountains. But you can then gather those berries and the leaves and dry them together, and then that does make a tasty tea when you blend them together. So you're definitely smart enough to come out and find blackberries, right? You are, you really are. You're smart enough to take your health back into your own hands. Everything you learn is valid. You don't need to pay somebody thousands of dollars to learn how to do these things. You are capable, you are smart enough. You just have to use your own human curiosity to get out there and find these plants that are growing around you and get curious. Be like, what can blackberry leaves do for me? What about apples? What about this? These things that you think of as food, they're food, but they're a plant. They also have medicinal values, and you just have to get curious and get brave enough and learn how to trust yourself, because I know that you are smart enough to do this, okay? So, if you like hearing me jabber, if you like my videos, what I stand for, what I'm all about, make sure to subscribe, follow, find me on YouTube, find me on Instagram, like, comment, share. All this stuff helps get this information out there and helps even more people learn about safe, simple plant allies, and that they're smart enough to do this too. All right, thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye.